Hello everyone. I thought I'd do a video on the updates that I've done to my MJX Hypergo 14210 V2 H14BM, and I say H14BM because I've got the upgraded front telescopic drive shafts and diff to suit. So it's mechanically the same as an H14BM. The only main difference is the livery on the shell, and the H14BM comes with it in eco mode or kids mode, and you press the ESC 5 times and it unlocks it to the full power mode that this one comes in. So this is my truggy so far with the upgrades I've done to it. I've had it a few months, and I thought I'd start with the body shell on and do a brief description, I guess, of them, because this video could go on for ages. Really, I mean, the mud guards that you can see here, I actually made them on Christmas Day. They took all day to make from some margarine tubs, the front ones as well. And I've got a mud guard, if you like, protector that pretty much completely covers the inside as well, also made from margarine tubs. So I'll take that off in a minute to show you, and that'll just be a brief description to give you some ideas of what you can do to protect your insides from crap. Makes you less worried when going through mud and snow and stuff. I mean, when I went through snow, no snow got inside mine, no snow touched the ESC or the battery or the servo, anything like that inside. It was all protected, and I run tape down the side. I bring black tape with me, and I run tape down the side there to the bottom. It's only got to stay on there 20 minutes. So and that seals it up nicely as well. These protectors that I made on the back with some rubber mud flaps there, they are protecting mainly the wishbones at the back, because all the mud flicks off the front wheels and flies up there. I thought I'll put them on. If I don't mind the look of them, they'll stay on to protect the new metallic aluminium parts that I've got on. And I thought if they look okay, I'll leave them on. They do look okay, and they work brilliantly. They really do stop the crap, because as you can see, I've got the aluminium parts on. So I'll start here. Let's start with these body shells. So the body clips, I made these, as you can see. And in terms of, do they come off? Answer: no, never. They never come off. You don't lose them. They're made from push rods for small RC planes. Just to give you a quick brief what I mean. Small RC planes, the metal push rods for those are what those body clips are made of, and they just pop off like that, hook in, pop off, pop them out of the way, and like I said, yeah, they never ever come off. So that's that. And then the body shell, so I'll put the car out of the way for a moment. Here's the body shell, and you can see I've made mud guards. Now the front ones are not, they stop some crap coming off the back wheels that comes forward, going on all the steering gear in here. I've had to cut them back a little bit because the new servo I've just put on makes it turn a little bit more. So and it was catching here, so I've had to cut that back a bit. But you won't come across that problem, I don't think, unless you put mud guards on. So they're all taped on, black tape, and underneath it's double-sided tape, and same for the back. And I've just put neat tape around there like that. It's all, you know, very durable, and it's all taped on everywhere. Black tape, really good black insulation tape. And you can see here, this is the back pot. This is a whole side, if you like, of a margarine tub. You're going to see it, and I think I needed to extend it a little bit higher, which just meant scratching the margarine tub a little bit and super gluing some more margarine tub. All covered in, it was originally covered in black vinyl, and I've got extra tape all over it now, and that's all good. That's brilliant. And that slots over the back and doesn't interfere with the wishbones or anything. And then at the front, You can see margarine took another one, again cut out, so it misses all the moving parts. Very little. There's a small gap there and there for the servo and the arms that do the steering. A little bit of dirt gets in there, but not much considering how much could get in there. Anyway, that's there. Like, it needs cleaning actually as well. So that's that, and that's actually as well makes it very strong. So an impact when you land on your roof, it doesn't like bend the body anymore. It kind of it's all becomes all kind of one with the chassis and you could I think I could stand on that. Anyway, so that's the shell. What I've done to the shell. And it's all held in with that, some with double-sided tape mainly, and then all sealed up with this what would you call it, glass fibre reinforced tape, and then a load of black tape around it. I'd say it really does do the job of keeping the crap out. So that's that. And then we've got the car now. Let's start with the car. Let's start with the unseen. If you've been following my posts on Facebook, and I have mentioned it in the videos as well, I initially filled both diffs with lithium grease, filled them, and what that does is it gives it some viscous coupling, if you like, which means that less of the power will get spun off to the inside wheel. Say when you're doing a donut, and that would normally inflate that inside wheel, you got almost no power to the outside wheel, and quite often if you kind of do that maneuver, sharp turn, so that the body rolls, the inside wheel lifts up, loses power to the outside wheel, it digs in, especially with the geometry of this car, and then it rolls over and tips. With the semi-limited slip diff with the lithium grease in it, would give you options to blip the throttle a bit in a turn, and it will spin the outside wheel. It will try to spin the outside wheel more because of it'll encounter the viscousness of the grease in the diff that would normally spin that power off to the inside wheel. It'll encounter that and keep the power to the wheel that's actually got the grip on the ground. So, but and that's like a minimum, if you like, of gaining some limited slip diff is putting some grease in it. Now, if you was to put in what I've put in, which is this, it's 500,000 weight CST silicone oil, diff oil, and if I tip it over, you'll see that it hasn't moved yet, and it won't move yet for, well, if we was to watch it, this video would be really long, but you see, I think it takes, for a bubble, it takes something like 7 or 8 minutes or something to reach the top. So now normally if you've got your model in front of you now, let me see if I can make it so you can see both wheels, and I'm holding the front wheel still, so I'm only initiating the rear diff, and you can see that if I turn the wheel, the same thing will happen on yours. Yeah, it will start to spin the opposite wheel, the other wheel, the opposite way, and that's the normal action of a diff. Now normally it's quite easy to do that. That's just a slack in the system. Now because I've got thick diff silicone oil in it, it's much more difficult. Now to portray that on camera, I can't tell you, but that's much more difficult. It doesn't spin on, for instance. It might rather bounce back off the gearing, but it's much stiffer, which means, so normally when you pick all 4 wheels off the ground and do that also, normally with your model, that would spin the right hand wheel in the opposite direction quite easily because it's a very open diff. Now mine aren't open anymore. I've got the 500,000 weight CST in it, which means that it's thick enough not only to
spin the whole diff casing and not spin the other wheel. It's thick enough to initiate the drive shaft, spin the motor and the front diff, which means when you spin the wheel now, all 4 wheels spin. Now the diffs are still working. I can still put one wheel down, look, and the diffs still work. Yeah, it's not locked them completely, but what's happening is when you encounter a situation where it's beached and maybe that wheel there has got traction and this wheel here on the right at the back's got traction, yeah, but the other 2 are in the air, so all the power is, because it's like water, my friend. Take the easiest route. It spins all the power off to the ones in the air, and the ones that have got grip do nothing. Whereas now, the ones that have grip will always do something, and that little moment of beaching would never even happen in the first place, because it would have just powered on through it, because I've got limited slip diffs. Now, equally, and so what this does is helps with forward, going fast forward, because it when you're undulating, it stops one wheel spinning up faster than the other one, expanding, then touches the ground, and then it's spinning faster, it's expanded, and then that sends it off to the other side, and it's all messed up. It keeps things spinning at relatively the same speed. But having done that on both wheels, that means that you lose some of the diff effect in slower corner steering. Fast cornering steering. It's basically the same in slow corner steering and spinning it out. It's not much different at all. In fact, it's better because you can now drift it, because it doesn't spin off all the power to the inside wheels anymore. And if you've seen that video I did of the donut with the diffs filled, you'll see that it spins all wheels equally and does some funky pirouette thing. So yeah, so the diffs, that's an upgrade, but it's 3 hours to clean them all out completely with isopropyl alcohol and renew them. During this video, you might see pictures and stuff popping up of when I actually did it and what I actually did. Depends how much effort I feel like putting into the editing of this. We're already, 12 minutes in? I'm going to let this one rip. If people want to watch and learn about my model and upgrades, I'm going to tell you all about it in this video. Right. So that's the diffs. So that's what I recommend. Some 500,000 weight CST, and that will still have action from your diffs, but they'll still work. Right. So where should we go now? Let's just cover the silver thing. Now this bar on your model will be red, and your shocks will be red also. I recommend, if you want to do this, to watch some videos on YouTube on how to strip the anodizing from your red parts. And it's a case of you have a bucket of hot water with some caustic soda in it, which is sink and drain unblocker, and you put your parts in it and it strips them off within a few minutes. It gets real hot and messy. Well, not messy, but it's real hot and toxic gases coming off it and stuff. So ventilated space, and then you rinse it all off and you neutralize them all with soapy water afterwards. Give them a good scrub, and then I polish them up with, where is it? Polish them up with Autosol metal polish. Yeah, so that's it. Right now, aluminium parts. Aluminium parts. I got my aluminium parts from seriousrc.co.uk, and they are the only official MJX dealer in the UK, and as such they stock all the spare parts, even the parts that don't break normally, like all these casings and stuff. They've got everything in multiples, and he's just starting to what would you say? He's dynamic in this RC trade. He knows people like upgrades. He knows people like shiny bits and aluminium bits, and so he is stocking these aluminium parts, the shock towers, the wishbone A's, the steering cup. I don't know what these are called, but anyway, back everything. It's got everything. And they're going to be in various colours. I'm not sure whether because these were a sample set sent to me, and I'm not sure whether these is going to be stock in this colour or not, because I'm not sure he liked them, but I think they're gorgeous. So I've got the aluminium parts, and they are they obviously make it heavier. And if you've got yours set up like mine, a bit lower, that's another thing. I've lowered my shocks. That's another conversation. Then in terms of not tipping over and drifting and handling, having the aluminium parts and the extra weight from that is better. Plus, they all fit lovely. They look nice, and that to me is important. It sits on my desk. I'm into models, as you can see. Got a little model helicopter up there as well. It's very important to me that it looks nice, and I keep it nice. And this gets really dirty, but as you can see, it's clean because I keep it clean. And a lot of crap don't get on the inside, but all this lot gets blasted with the shower head over the toilet and stuff, and then cleaned up, towel dried, and then re-lubricated. Right, so let's talk about the upgrade. So the aluminium parts, like I say, you can get them from Serious RC. Very soon there should be some hot links for the full sets and stuff, but at the moment he's just got links for all these parts in red at the moment, anodized red, but there will be a few colours. The steering parts now, again, Serious RC is just about to stock all these, so you can get them all in the UK next day delivery, and I believe these arms as well. Now I got these from Aliexpress. Now, I actually ordered the wrong set twice. I ordered for a 14301 twice. Once one set for me and a red set for my mate Martin, which meant I had two surplus sets when I finally got the right one off Aliexpress, which meant I could use one of those crossbars for the bar to the servo there, and it takes two sets of the bushers to actually hold it there like that. One of the sets is underneath, and one set, as you would expect, as normal, that comes with the bar. So to do exactly what I've done there takes 3 sets of the aluminium parts if you was to choose to try and do that crossbar as well. And well, you know, from an aesthetics point of view, it looks great, and it's a little bit tighter and snugger in the engineering part of it. So yeah, it is again an upgrade. And that's what all these are about. It's about the tolerances in these parts. These are snugger. Things move much less. In fact, like hardly moves at all. You can't really. Anything I move, I'm actually like moving the other parts there. You see, there's very little movement there. And then on the right side, which is the problem child. Let's see if I can get it right. This one, now obviously this one's always, I'm going to hold this side, this one's always going to move a little bit more, but it was like 12-15 mil before. Now it's about 3 mil movement, you know, and everything is not perfectly, it's a retro car, not a real one, so everything too tight, and servos and parts are going to struggle. But now that's much better. And if you've just watched my previous video, you'll see that this servo upgrade with these steering parts makes it better. Let me just say that it just makes it better. It's and you can actually had to go outside with it on some moss and slippery tarmac, and now the servo's fast enough that you can catch a drift. You can actually catch the drift if you're fast enough on the controls. You can actually catch the drift. The servos, everything's tight enough that it's pinpoint enough that, again, should you have the skills, you can catch the drift now. It's much better, goes better in a straight line. I'm still tweaking these at the minute as to how to set them, but the base point I've decided is to set them so that they are straight under power. Now to do that, let me see, how can I do that? I'll set my car up like that, and I know you can't see those front wheels yet, but no, I'm gonna have to come like that. Let's see, how can I do it? Turn the camera there. Right, so what I've done is to simulate power on. Yeah, things can move, right? So to simulate power on, you want to push the front of the wheels in there like that, because when the wheels are spinning, they're pulling the body along, and the pivot there. So should these bars not be here, you set the power on, these wheels are just going to go whoop and fold inwards. because that's what they want to do. They want to pivot around these points. So when the power's on and you're nailing it, you want it to run in a straight line. So you give them a squeeze like that because of the slack in the system that there will be, even with these, a tiny little bit. Yeah, you give it a little squeeze like that, and you set these rods so the wheels are straight like that, or with the tiniest little bit of towing if you're going to have any, but straight as you can under power. So that's when you're squeezing the side of the wheels at the front to simulate what happens when they spin and they're dragging the body behind. Now, equally in reverse, what happens is this, you get that going on. Now, you have to just not, you can only have it one way or the other, so you just have to, that's just one of them. But the forwards is the most important. So set it so that when you nail it, it's pulling forward and your wheels are straight with a tiny little bit of towing. And the toe in a lot when you're cornering, because if you think about it, you turn there like you're turning left, all the weight leans over, the left wheel's not doing much, so having a little bit of toe in on this one's beneficial. It's going to help you turn. Right, shocks. Right, so mine, look at my ride height right now, it's not too high, and I've got it second to lowest setting on these parts. If I move that to there, the outside one, they come down even lower, and that would be the lowest setting, and they're almost dead straight. The axles are almost dead straight when I do that, but I wanted some ride height, and I've got the adjustability, and it only takes a minute. So at the minute, that's second to lowest setting, and I could go obviously lower, and then everything else from there is up. So you've got lots of up, and you really can go quite a long way because things aren't catching in here with these parts until you've got a stupid angle. In fact, it's an angle you wouldn't want. These go higher than you wouldn't want to go, in my opinion. So up the top there, you've got like 5 settings for ride height adjustment, and the shocks here. Obviously, I've took the anodizing off mine, and I've put in in the back here now is a 6mm plastic tube. Now it happens to be a propeller spacer for a gem fan propeller, but you can use rubber tube, fuel hose, pretty much anything that you can cut to length or that is length that you want now. And it slips around the shaft on the inside and prevents it from opening up fully, which obviously lowers the ride height. So I've got 6mm ones in the rear and 3mm ones in the front, which gives you what I've got there, and you can see it's quite stiff, because that's how I like it, because the diffs being stiff, lower ride height, stiffer shocks, yeah, and 15mm spacers, which give you 10mm per wheel, make this truggy loads better. And I think I'm kind of done with the upgrades. Its handle's really good. I can lift it up if we go up to the quarry. I can take it down lower if I want it to slide even more, or I don't know for what reason, just for looks. And so at the minute, as far as I'm concerned, I've got that set up lovely. Maybe just a little tweaking and some research to find out what's the best setting for the steering, toe in or toe out. But I think it's how I've got it. It was running pretty straight when I had to go last. So yeah, we've talked about the servo, and there's a previous video. Talked about lowering the shocks. I've got all my metal parts which are available at Serious RC. He'll have a load of links and stuff ready soon for those parts and all the steering parts. What else? Right, this is an update I don't expect anyone will copy. That there is a 16207 front bumper, and it's obviously aluminium. I stripped all the paint off it, polished it, and I've had to cut it in there to make it fit, and I've had to file some off the back of where that bracket is there to make it fit. The holes, though, were a perfect fit. They were a perfect fit. It didn't stretch far enough to come to these ones over here, but they're actually a perfect fit. And I've made this plate from a piece of 40mm aluminium tube. And if you do Facebook and you do Facebook groups, even if you're not doing Facebook groups and you've got one of these, I recommend you join the UK one, and the others as well. They're all good. But the UK, I'm admin in the UK one, and I do all my posting, most of my posting in there about my upgrades. So that's the MJX Hypergo Owners UK Facebook group, and you'll find probably more pictures than you need to be able to copy, mimic what I've done there, should you choose to. There is the information enough to do that. Let me think. I don't know if there's anything else. Right, so on this video, talking about my truck here now, if you've got any other questions in the comments about anything, I'll try my best to answer them. When there's links available for these aluminium parts in the UK Serious RC, I will add them. The servo is if you look at that, and you look at my other video, you'll see there'll be links to that, or enough information there that you can find it. It's the JMRC one. Right, so this video has gone on for 26 minutes. I think that's enough. I don't know what else to add. Yeah, any questions, put them in the comments. Subscribe if you like. Click the like if you like. And thanks for watching. Cheers.